Hello everyone, in this session we are going to talk about how to establish a dimensional model in Data Vault. We already discussed different data storage layers as Enterprise Data Vault, which is combined by Raw and Business Data Vault, and subsequently information marks are including dimensional model based on facts and dimensions. The question comes up in here, why do we need information marks or dimensional model? Enterprise Data Vault is not optimized for query performance, and on the other hand, users are needed to have advanced SQL skills in order to get proper results out of Raw or Business Data Vault. And data model is not also suitable for well-known BI tools which they are expecting the data in dimensional model. In here, information marks comes into play. It is based on facts and dimension tables as very similar to traditional data warehouse approaches. But how we are going to form a fact or dimension table from hub, satellite or link out of Enterprise Data Vault structure? Hubs and related satellites can be considered as dimensions, and links and related satellites can be viewed as fact tables in dimensional model. It can be either one hub and single satellite combination, or one hub and connected multiple satellites can be formed a dimension table. This enables you to quickly prototype a dimensional model and create a star schema out of Data Vault model. You can build your model based on views or physical tables. But if you don't have serious performance issues that requires physical tables, I would recommend to use views because it provides more flexibility in respect to easy setup, and you don't need to care about data loading processes for an additional layer. Then here we have another question comes up as how we are going to create the views in a current or historical view. Let's understand with an example. You remember we discussed slowly changing dimensions in earlier session. To shortly remember, there are a couple of methods how to store dimension tables in data warehouse. They will be from type 1 to type n, but our focus in here is only type 1 and type 2 approaches. So remember the example. We have a source table in our operational system that store customer name and customer type as either retail or corporate. And in operational source system, when customer type is changed, then the record is mostly updated. Because we also know that operational systems are mostly focused on fast insert and update operations. Therefore, they are not interested in holding historical data, and that is why we need data warehouse layer on top of it. And one of the common data warehouse solution is dimensional model, which is based on dimension and fact tables. And when building dimension tables in our data warehouse solution, we might use type 1 or type 2 approaches according to our business requirement. So back to example, in operational system, customer type of Jim Black has changed from corporate to retail. The record is simply updated. So in target system, which is for us data warehouse layer, we have a two type of table. We can store data in type 1, that means we simply overwrite the old information and do not store the history, so only latest information is kept for a specific business key. And against this, we store the historical data in type 2 dimension tables by adding start date and end date columns. So for the Jim Black, we have both changes in the table and we assign time intervals that shows the validity of each record, and also we would have a flag column that helps us to identify which record is valid currently and which is not anymore. Either we store the data in type 1 as current view or type 2 historical way is totally up to business decision. It means that they need to decide how they would like to display data. If the information is critical and needed to be historized or not, data owners should decide in here. So let's look at the both samples. In source, we have both customer type and contact information, and they're both updated. In target data warehouse system, as we mentioned already, it depends on your business requirement as how we will store the data, either type 1 or type 2. So your end user or data owner would decide in here. For example, they will tell, I'm not interested in the historical changes of telephone number. It does not bring any business value. And I'm only interested in the latest phone information for a specific customer. Then you don't need to store this information. But change in customer type would play a very critical role in your reporting requirement. You would like to see the number of customer transactions between different customer types. And according to this information, you will take some action plans, or you would extend or change benefits of customers due to different subscriptions model. So it is possible that business would use type 1 dimension table for contact data and type 2 historical view for customer type information. So let's understand how the things are going on in Data Vault. As we know that we don't update the satellite tables. So when there is an insert or update in source table, we simply create a new record in satellite table. But still it is important from the business view how we are going to look at the data or which information they would like to see in the reporting layer. Again, they will tell, I'm not interested in historical changes of phone, so I always want to see the latest phone information of customer independent from the reporting date. So it means that, for example, today is April 20, 2021, and I would like to see the phone number of Jim Black. And as I know that the latest phone number inserted the system is 999 and 111. So this is the value I am looking for as a phone number. But think about that, today is again 20 April 2020, but I want to look at the history and I want to see the phone number of Jim Black for the 2nd of January at 2018. So today and the reporting date is different in here, and in that time this phone number was 999 and 888. So from technical perspective, satellite enable me to access this point in time information. But from the business view, they might be only interested in the latest version of data independent from the reporting date. So in this example, business will tell, I want to see the latest information as 999-111 for each reporting date. But when we look at the customer type satellite, it is most likely that business would require historical reporting. So if the reporting date is greater than 2nd of January 2018 and less than 8th of January 2019, then the customer type for Jim Black is corporate. Or if it is greater than or equal to 8th of January 2019, then the customer type is retail. So we name these both approaches current and historical view. And it is important in here, we don't change the structure of the satellite. This approach helps us to identify how we will build dimension tables on top of the raw data vault based on either historical or current view. And it is totally depends on your business logic and requirement. So before you set up a dimensional model in Data Vault, you need to sit down with your data owners or report owners and should understand what is their requirements and what kind of model would be a good fit for them. Okay, let's move on with some samples that how we are going to create these dimension and fact tables.